I'm tempted to say to the honourable lady, if she looks carefully, I think she'll see that I'm not capable of a parliamentary ejaculation.
How can we or anyone trust anything she says again?
I'm tempted to say to the honourable lady, if she looks carefully, I think she'll see that I'm not capable of a parliamentary ejaculation.
Damn. Understand what you're saying. Basically, this how the girl be. Where? Who? You been where? Where who? For real. Oh, really? That's how you feel? And the guys be like, asking all them questions. Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions? Making statements.
All the latest polling, and you at the People's Vote campaign, we were very, very fortunate to be given a very generous donation. And we've done a lot of polling. And in every sector, in every region, there has been a shift. And where the big shift is happening is in support for the idea of another say.
Our fact checker, Joe, has been looking at what the polls say. Let's go to him in the newsroom. Joe.
That's right, Andrew. So Alistair Campbell said earlier that there's been a big shift in support for a second referendum. I called Professor John Curtis and I asked him that question, and this is what he told me. There is no consistent evidence of a shift in support for a second referendum. He told me that because he's been looking at the work of 4 different pollsters who have all been tracking this issue consistently, and 2 of them say that support for a second referendum is growing and 2 of them say that it's falling. So that's why he says there's no consistent evidence of the support for it growing. There's no consistent evidence of the support for it growing.
This has opened up an enormous chasm between the political class and the business class and ordinary people, where you have an establishment which thinks that staying in the EU is a good idea and should be preserved, and you have this huge number of ordinary people, 17.4 million, the largest number of voters in British history ever to vote for anything, who want to leave these institutions. Brexit is now about one issue and one issue only. Brexit is about democracy and the question of whether Britain is a democratic nation. That is what this entire issue is about. People who talk about the impact Brexit will have on jobs or the economy or trade and so on, those are important questions, but there is an overriding fundamental question at stake here, which is, do we allow ordinary people to influence the future of the nation? And I think if Brexit is undone or watered down so much that it's just remained by another name or prevented from happening entirely, then Britain's claim to be a democratic nation will be entirely called into question, and people will think to themselves, what's the point of voting when we never get what we vote for?
UK, for the foreseeable future, would take laws from the EU with no say in those laws.
Only if the transitional arrangement
that we would not
isn't
be able to set our own tariffs or do free trade deals. And the real problem with the backstop arrangement...
The problem
can I just finish this point? Sorry, just 10 seconds. Yeah. The real problem with the backstop arrangement, it gives the power to Brussels and to all the other EU member states effectively to blackmail us and to get what they want out of the future trade negotiation. Well, so it is a diabolical negotiating position.
Can I say, representing a heavy Leave-voting northern constituency, and as somebody who actually lives in their constituency in the north, that my voters, Leave voters, are sick to the back teeth of being told by Remainers, people who lost the referendum, what it was they voted for. We've been told we're racists, that we're a bit stupid, a bit too northern, and now we're being told we didn't know what we voted for. Can I say my constituents are none of those things, and what they can see going on in this place is a stitch-up by people who said they accepted the result of the referendum, who are using every single trick in the book to deny the people what they voted for.
At the heart of the problem, there was always this issue. Are we going to be governed from Brussels, or are we going to be governed by our own democratically elected Parliament and government?
Those members who continue to disagree need to shoulder the responsibility of advocating an alternative solution that can be delivered, and do so without ducking its implications. So if you want a second referendum to overturn the result of the first, be honest that this risks dividing the country again. Be honest that this risks dividing the country again, when as a House we should be striving to bring it back together. If If you want to remain part of the single market in the customs union, be open that this would require free movement, rule-taking across the economy, and ongoing financial contributions, none of which are, in my view, compatible with the result of the referendum. If you want to leave without a deal, be upfront that in the short term this would cause significant economic damage to parts of our country who can least afford to bear the burden. I do not believe that any of those courses of action command a majority in this House. But notwithstanding that fact, for as long as we fail to agree a deal, the risk of an accidental no deal increases.
Funk you, European Union.